Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Astroneer series. Today we resume our efforts here on Novus. We're going to look at expanding the base. Trying hard to find some more compound. It does seem to be a bit thin on the ground here. And seeing what other shenanigans we can get up to. So, with that in mind, I suggest you get yourself strapped in, get your favourite hiking spacesuit on, and let's get started. Alright, we did get a pretty decent start here on Novus in the previous episode, and I'm still amazed by how much power stuff that we managed to get, and the height of it all was that full-size RTG. I mean, that's just like a major showbiz break, that one. But anyway, we still have quite a bit of our base to get set up. And we're not going to get very far unless we can find some compound. Now, it's probably been a week or two, relatively speaking, since I recorded the previous episode. And I had kind of forgotten the lay of the land a little bit. I sort of vaguely remembered that there really wasn't much compound around the rim of this crater, but by the same token, I couldn't remember if I'd done a full lap. So we're just up here, we're going to do a full lap, we're looking around, is there any more compound? And it would appear that there is not. So we are going to end up having to go further afield to get the compound we need. Now, yeah, that happened. Most of the time, those little tongue flicker guys, they don't kill you outright. The problem is that they tend to flick you up in the air, and you do take a little bit of damage when that happens. But as inevitably tends to happen, all of the pain and suffering when it comes to falling, it actually comes with the sudden stop at the end. So, anyway, that's how easily those little tongue monster things can end your adventures. And any planet that has, craters and things like that, you got to be a bit careful around those guys. And I honestly thought I'd left enough of a gap, but lessons learned. Anyway, we got our bibs and bobs back, and we're all set up here. We've got some more resin. In fact, resin does not seem to be a big issue here. I sort of had a spidey sense tingly when I was packing the rocket for this place that I should have packed compound instead of resin. But anyway, things we should have done don't matter because we're here and we've just got to make good with what we have. So I'm just having a bit of a look around. I'm just thinking what our next step forward is. And I'm thinking, even though I've only got one bit of compound there, I think the way forward is we're going to make a tractor. Because ordinarily I'd just be dropping tethers and just going out as far as I need to get a decent supply of compound and then bring it back, obviously. But, compound is what you make tethers out of. So, plan B is we are going to make a tractor with one trailer, and we're going to use that as our sort of gathering vehicle for most of this episode. So, I'm sort of wishing I didn't have to use my one compound there, but there we go. It is for a good cause. We're going to make the most use out of this. We're going to maximize how much storage we have, given we only have the one trailer. And so that little medium storage tower thing that we brought with us, oh, what a godsend that thing was. We're going to put it to work as well. So we're going to clear off the smelted bars off it, and we're going to take that with us so we can at least manage a decent haul every time we go out. However, that is not the only piece of storage we're going to be putting on that tractor. On the front, there's a medium slot, and so what we're going to do Because power generators don't care about being on storage, they still work. We're going to drop our RTG off there for a minute, or whack it there, or whatever works. We're going to grab a couple of resin, and we're going to make one of those little foldable medium storage doohickeys. And yeah, excuse me if I do forget the proper names for things today. It has been a fairly, I'll say, lackluster week as far as useful sleep goes, and but today falls in firmly into the bucket of self-inflicted. That being last night, this morning was 11 in the morning now. When did we do this stream? Was about 9 hours ago. Yeah. Yes, I participated and helped out on one of Oladino's streams. Hey, Oladino, it was awesome fun. And yeah, the level of sleep I've maintained after that has not been particularly great. Definitely a worthy cause if you're going to lose sleep, but yeah, the brain's not going to be too good today for a little bit. That said, though, I haven't had my morning coffee yet, so that may be part of the problem. Anyway, yes, we had a lot of fun, and that was in Scum. I don't know if I want to start another Scum series. I keep thinking I will, and then there's another update and another hard reset, and blah 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 blah. It gets a bit frustrating starting again all the time. So, look, if you guys want to leave a message down below, any of you Scum fans out there, if you'd like to see me just battle through and start up a Scum series with some sort of goal in mind, yeah, leave your comments down below, and I'll read them up, and I'll see if I can get something happening. I am going to have a free slot on my 3 different series per week kind of process that I've been doing now for a number of months. Simply because I'm getting very close to the end of Glitchwalkers. In fact, at this minute, I've only got one more episode, so the finale to put together, and that should go up in, I think it's about 2 weeks from today. So once that's gone up, I may have a short break just to recover some additional brain cells if they're needed. If that's not needed, then I will start forging ahead with whatever the next series is that I'm going to put in place of the Glitchwalker one. Anyway, that was quite a bit of a side distraction there. In amongst all of that, the action happening on screen, we did mine a little bit of lithium. That's what that goldy looking, bronzy looking stuff is that we've put onto the medium storage tower there. And we're probably not going to need a lot of it, but it is quite useful. Just maybe not where we are at the moment. I have a feeling where we may not use it until we get to our next planet after this one. Nonetheless, we continue our explorations. That hole proved to be a really good device for creating a ramp down here into the cave system beneath the surface of Novus. We're having a bit of a look around. Yeah, not that. Oh, okay, there's a bit of laterite there, but a little bit of quartz. Yeah, not particularly impressed with what I'm seeing here in terms of ore and resources. And now I think about it, I don't think this level of Novus is ever particularly generous in terms of resources, but we're only slightly down here for resources. I mean, look, if I find a useful amount of compound, I'll definitely be digging it up. But the other reason we're down here is we need to find some of the gastropod shells. Because, yeah, we're on Novus and we need to do the gastropod thing for Novus. And the first part of these gastropod missions is we've got to locate and scan 5 different shells. Now, I'm looking around here trying to see surely there's got to be a shell already. I mean, there's usually some underground. And I'm looking around. Oh, hello. We found some more hematite. That will definitely come in handy. I'm looking around, and I am not seeing any galastropod shells anywhere. I am seeing an angry plant, which is fine. We'll get to that in a minute. But galastropod shells, yeah, I'm not seeing any. So I'm not sure. At this point, I'm wondering, am I just really unlucky with where I've come beneath the surface of Novus? Have I just managed to find the one bit of the entire moon where there is 9/10 of very little? So I'm still sort of looking around, and then I think, oh yeah, I better put the compass up. Because the compass, now that we've also fed our lovely little galastropod here, who shows us all the little secret things that we might not normally be able to spot straight away. In addition to those, we're also shown where our mission objectives are. Now, in this case, it's showing us the locations of some galastropod shells. In fact, there's 3 of them within fairly close proximity. And I think, well, this is where I've walked through, this is where I've driven through. Why am I not seeing a galastropod shell? And I've got to say, it's literally been years since I was doing the galastropod thing on Novus in my last playthrough, and I'd completely forgotten that there's something special you kind of need to know in order to get the galastropods on Novus. Now, for those that have done this before, you're probably already shouting at the screen. That's fine. That's okay. A little bit of that in my episodes never hurts. But yes, these funky little brown rocks everywhere. Yeah, you've got to activate those, and out of each one, you get a galastropod shell, and you get a resource. Most of the time, I was just getting quartz, but I have a funny feeling I get something else here in a minute. But this is where we get our galastropod shells. So we only need to find 5 of those, dirt heaps, and there are definitely more than 5 lying around. So we have a couple more to scan, and then we are done with this step of the galastropod mission, and we'll be able to run back to base and sort of advance that a bit. We are having a bit of a head scratch moment here, but then we move on from that, and yep, oh, there we go. We got some clay. That's actually kind of handy because there is a few things that need ceramic later on, and I don't think I've actually seen any clay deposits so far, so that lump of clay is definitely going to come in handy to no end at some point. For the moment, we're just stored it away on our backpack. We're just having a bit of a run around here. All the galastropod indicators appear to have dropped off, and we are now going to jump on our tractor and head back to the surface. Oh yes, and when I say head back to the surface, I mean do a lot of exploration of the caves before we head back to the surface. I'm still holding out some hope that we're going to find, something other than quartz and hematite and a trace amount of laterite down here. And you'll be noticing that I am sort of, well, at least for the moment, I am picking up the chess pieces for Novus. Still don't know if I'm going to follow through with that, but if I do, I'll certainly let you know when we get up to that bit, and I imagine I'll be jetting around the planets to pick up all the pieces that I haven't found. I'm still a bit mindful that the last 2 times that I've tried to do this, I've always struggled to find, the last 1 or 2 pieces. So, yeah, I don't know. It might have just been that I was really unlucky in terms of with placements and things like that in those previous run throughs. So, yeah, stay tuned. I may give it a go at some point. In the meantime, we have, well, we've run out of power, but we are, in the absence of any compound at all, we're actually just going to mine some more hematite. We do end up needing a fair bit of hematite through the course of our building of things, so getting a bunch of it now is definitely not going to hurt. Oh, yeehaw! We found ourselves a fairly good looking pile of compound here. In fact, we've found 2. We've got this one and there's another one sort of behind me a bit. Yeah, we're going to fill up with this. This is definitely going to help us to get out of our sort of stuck spot as far as, not having any. So, yeah, filling up the remaining slots on our tower. And then we're going to fill up again. And that is when we're going to return to base and we're going to see what we can manage to get sorted out with all of this new compound that we have. Alright, in spite of all of the previous science, and indeed I think there's even still a little bit ticking away on one of the other planets, even in spite of all of the science that we've gathered so far, and we're going to have a look at our progress towards the end of the episode, but just at the moment, I'll say we've probably got about 40,000 science points, and you might think, oh wow, surely you've got enough. Yeah. Stay tuned later in the episode. I'm a bit completionist when it comes to the science tree, and yeah, we're going to need more science. So that's what we're working on now. We're going to do our familiar setup with 2 research chambers. We certainly have the power to maintain 2 research chambers at pretty much full throttle, at least for now. Once we get some of the other equipment set up, that may change. But when I get to that stage, I will probably look at doing another power setup here like I've done on Calidor. And that is to say, we'll tap some plants and get some, medium generators going as a way of providing additional power when it's needed. Well, actually, it'll provide power all the time, but you get the idea. We'll get one of those going at some point. For the moment, though, I really don't need it for this initial setup. I'm only running sort of 1 or 2 printers at a time, and the power I have, because Novus has such high benefits from wind and solar, all of my existing power stuff it's ticking away. It's doing good things, and we're definitely not running out at this stage. In fact, it's probably going to be at least another episode worth of setting stuff up before I even come close to not being able to meet demand. So I know the one thing that will definitely destroy that almost instantly, and that is the atmospheric condenser, because it takes a lot of power to run. And I imagine that's probably going to be where I will, change footing, and we will switch over to the medium generator setup. But for the moment, that's kind of on the horizon. So we're just going to stick with what we've got so that we can get more of the things that we need set up, and try and do so in a bit more of a time efficient manner. Yeah. All right. So we've got 3 chess pieces there so far. That's okay. I guess you could say that's a start. We're going to back the tractor out of the way here so we've got a bit more room. Once again, apology to all the OCD people out there. To print off enough storage to hold all of these little resource nuggets, that's an undertaking I'm just not prepared to do. It just takes way too long because you've got to gather a whole bunch more resin and yada yada yada. So for now, I will just offer my sincerest apologies for the mess that inevitably is always around these bases. Alright, now that we have our 2 science units going, we've got a bunch of research samples queued up there. It's time to move on to our next little project, and that is to make some more trailers for our little gathering rig. So we're going to spit out 2 more trailers because we now have the available resources to do that. It's always nicer to have, the maxed out, whatever rover you're able to produce, just, max it out where you can, where you're kind of in a gathering mode like we are at the moment. Because when you're out and about, the longer you can stay out and about, the more likely it is that you're going to find, these special locations. You're going to find these additional power modules, extra resources, whatever it is. There's always plenty of stuff out and about. We did demonstrate that on multiple occasions on Calidor. It's not just isolated to Calidor. You'll find just about every planet is the same in that regard. Where you've got to go and how much ground you've got to cover, that's usually the 2 variables that you'll find. There's a 3rd variable. How angry the local flora and fauna is. Well, there's no fauna, but there's definitely plenty of flora that wants to end your simulated existence. So yeah, you need to kind of tread carefully when you're out and about. Other than that, there is mucho resources to be gathered. And in this case, we're using our radar to locate another chess piece. Actually, we got 2 there. We're going to bring those back as well. Again, still not particularly committed to whether or not I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the chess set, but more on that at a later date. What we are looking at now is our science tree. So I'm sort of looking at all the things, live a dream and all that. Now, it is worthy of notice that I could actually make a medium shuttle, in theory, because I have I've got access to the materials for that. But I always want to go straight to the large shuttle because the medium shuttle always feels like a bit of a waste of resources. But I may actually, just for the sake of being able to cart more stuff around, I may actually decide to go ahead and make the the medium one at some point if it gets too annoying trying to ship stuff around on the small one. So yeah, anyway, stay tuned for that. You can see our bytes are ticking up very quickly in the top right hand corner there, and we're getting pretty close to 42,000 bytes. How long do you reckon that'll last us? Well, I'll give you a hint. There's about a minute left in this episode. Do you think it'll last that long? Yeah, minor spoiler, it's not going to last. We're going to run ourselves down to very few bytes at all. But that's okay. It makes room for more bytes, so to speak. Now, we've reached the end of this episode. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to consider subscribing if you are not already subscribed. Until next time, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you have yourself an absolutely fantastic day.